YouTube, what's going on? At your homie Davvon, coming at you with a brand new game, a brand new type of content that I've never tried before, whether I've been streaming live on Twitch or here on YouTube. It's called The Life and Suffering of Sir Brante. It just released today on Steam. It caught my interest when I was just perusing through. Let me read the description for you real quick. A narrative-driven RPG set in a gritty world where a person's lot is determined at birth, while the gods are real and preside over the fates of men. Set out on a lifelong journey and carve out your own destiny. Will you become a judge, an inquisitor, or conspire against the old order? You decide. So a lot of choices, a lot of decisions you can make to shape your own narrative. I'm really excited to get into it. Let's not waste any more time. Well, let's roll it. Enter your character's name, Sir Davvon Brante. Choose your name carefully. Other characters will address you exactly like this. Chapter restarts. What's this? You'll be able to rewind to the beginning of any chapter you have completed and continue from that point. Enabled. Consequences. You will see the consequences of your possible choices in advance. This is the recommended game mode, as you'll be able to direct the character's fate in the way you want. We're going to go hidden. I'm going to go hidden. I don't want to know the consequences of my choices. I want this to all be a surprise to me. One more thing I'm going to do. I'm actually, for this game, I'm gonna turn off the webcam. I want you guys to be able to concentrate on the game and the narrative without having to worry about looking at me and this ugly mug. All right, hidden consequences, chapter restarts. Sir Davvon Brante, let's begin. You hold the fate of a single man in your hands. You will follow his life from birth to death. Your choices shall define who Sir Brante will grow up to be. You will decide his personality, social status, and what mark he'll leave on history. With every step he takes at your behest, Sir Brante's character will change and evolve. Your decisions will close some doors for him, but open many others. Cool. The world of Sir Brante's birth is a ruthless realm where people are divided into estates. It is hard to be a hero here. Be ready to accept that Sir Brante cannot overcome every challenge in his path. Every hard choice will test his character and personal qualities. Often you will not be able to make the choice you would like to. It may happen because you chose a different road earlier, exhausted your hero's willpower, or haven't earned the right position in society. Every victory will be a struggle, a path paved with bitter losses and gut-wrenching failures. Accept the tragedy. This is how you will create a gripping and unique tale for your hero. What will become of your Sir Brante, his loved ones, and his world? It all depends on you.
The story of my life remains written on these pages, but my fate has always been my own. Every deed, every choice, every person I met made me what I am. Could I have taken a different path? Could I have found a different calling? Altered the very course of history? And what price would I have to pay?
The life and suffering of Sir Brante in times of the fall of the blessed Arcanian Empire. Get right into it. Chapter 1. At the end of time. Your fingers are stained with ink. Your breathing grows ragged. Your hands are shaking, yet the worlds begin appearing on the page before you one by one, clinging together to form a chronicle of your own life. Who are you, and how did you reach this end? You were born, raised, and lived your entire life in the blessed Arcanian Empire. In this land, a man's destiny is predetermined at the moment of his birth. Whether human or Arcanian, nobleman, priest, or low-born commoner, all bend to the divine will of the twin gods, and each life is not but a single cog in the universe's immeasurable machine. Is there a settings button here? Yes, there is. I'm actually going to turn down the music just a tad, and the sound just a tad. I can hear myself think now. The memories come flooding back. They engulf you as a merciless wave, binding together days that are thrice dead and gone. The dreams of your childhood, your adolescence, your youth spent in the capital. Years of peace, teeming with life and a war drenched in blood. High ranks and lowly deeds. Opulent palaces, a secretive city, backstreets, fields of battle. And faces. So many faces of the people you held dear. The people who walked this road by your side. Such was your life, now all exposed by ink, erupting onto the page. With your every step, you sought to change the world as you saw fit. The choices of your upbringing, the path you carved in your youth, the fruits of your struggle, the consequences of your sacrifice, all of it led you here, to the end of your time, and every choice had a price. Now, years and years later, the crossroads of your life echo in your memory, the pain and joy inextricably intermingled. Say that 5 times fast. Could you have taken a different path, chosen a different calling, found a different place in the world? You had the power to alter the very course of history. Now, on the verge of death, you struggle with doubt, seeking answers to the last and most crucial question of all. Your life, of all the paths in life, why did you walk this one? Did you choose your fate, or was your life shaped by forces beyond your control? What determines a man's destiny? Let's see here. The man himself, the world around him, a higher power. There is no destiny. Destiny does not exist. The human life is an exercise in chance. It is not governed by any laws. I'm going to say the man himself. You can hear death's footsteps drawing near. You square your shoulders and take a deep, full breath. You have found your final answer. What is destiny, other than a long chain of your own actions and decisions? No matter what happened in your life, you always had a choice. You lived the life you deserved. Only you can answer for it. But are you right about this? Is it all true? To learn the truth, you will have to return to the very beginning, remembering every step you took along the way. On these pages, the story of a man named Davvon Brante will live once more. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Childhood, 0 years. It looks like there's 5 chapters: childhood, adolescence, youth, peacetime, and the revolt. Chapter 1, childhood. What do all these buttons here do? Chapter 1, childhood. Childhood, where life begins. First words, first unsteady steps. You are but a small child learning about the world in which you were born. To you, everything is so new, so baffling, and so unforgiving. A long, trying life stretches before you. So many feats and faults, so many fateful choices to come. Yet you are already sowing the seeds of your future self. You are learning to live and survive in this world, looking for a place within it to call your own, choosing your future destiny. Who will you grow up to be? Growing up, prologue. In chapters childhood, adolescence, and youth, you will live through your hero's coming of age. You will shape the protagonist's personality, his qualities, and relationships. By the end of prologue, you will determine the estate and future occupation of your hero. Only in adulthood will he start to influence the world around him and even the ultimate fate of the Empire. Who will Davvon Brante grow up to be? It's your call. Childhood, where life begins. First words, first unsteady steps. You are but a small child learning about the world around you for the first time. Yet it is also here that you sow the seeds of your future self. Who will you grow up to be? Events in the personal life of the hero that can happen in this chapter. The fencing lesson. You dare to study fencing like your father, even though you have no right to it by birth. Beyond. As a small child, you suffer your first death and rebirth. Huh. Suffer your first death. Interesting. You experience an insight where your mother tells you about the ways of the world and lots of inhabitants. Play with the ants. Okay, so I have to have a higher perception. Play with the ants. Train with father for fencing. Die for beyond, which doesn't sound like a very fun choice. In the nobleman's sacrament, you challenge the sacred order and attempt to seize a noble lot. Willpower greater than 0 and kiss the sword. I kind of want to do that one. I always like the idea of seizing a lot in life bigger than what you've been given. Your personal qualities at this age, you determine which choices you make. Determination 0. We're spineless. Nice. Your perseverance and strength of character, your ability to get your way. It affects your frame of mind and the skills you have when you grow up. I like determination. Determination is a good quality to have. Perception represents how attentive you are to other people and the world around you, your ability to comprehend and learn. It affects your frame of mind and the skills you have when you grow up. Inattentive, curiosity, inquisitive, insightful. Got you. Your inner strength and the number of lesser deaths that you have experienced. These qualities will stay with you for your entire life. Willpower. Your willpower is your remaining inner strength and readiness for action. You spend it on difficult choices. Deaths. After suffering a lesser death, one is reborn. One who dies a true death faces the judgment of the twin gods. I am untouched by death currently. Can I move these? Okay, so this is just like a current standing where my attributes are currently set. The sections that open this chapter: Destiny screen is now available. Personality screen is now available. House of Brant screen is now available. And family screen is now available. Okay, cool. Begin the chapter. Let's get right into it. Birth. At first, there was nothing. No time, no sensation. Nothing but darkness and void. But then a will breathed life into the nothingness. Matter and spirit were set in motion. History began its march. It was your turn to enter this world. Your first memory: you are lying on your back, blinded by a bright white light. You are not alone. Above you tower the colossal figures of those who created you. You are part of them, and they are a part of you. Between you and them is an inexplicable connection, a strong, unbreakable link. They will always watch over you, guard you, and protect you. It hurts to breathe. You let out pain in the form of a desperate scream. Your creators extended their hands towards you. There are two of them, the ones who made your form from their own selves and brought you into this world. They are united, yet as they lean closer, you begin to see how different they are. You can already feel their differences within you, struggling against each other. The first figure is soft and emphatic, wise and merciful. The love that emanates from it wraps you head to toe like an invisible blanket, the warmth from its never ending. The second figure is strong and powerful, commanding and noble. It is harsh but fair, a beacon of guidance, a force of protection, and merciless punishment for every misdeed. Yet there is also a third figure. It is like a shadow barely seen behind them, yet already pushing with an unbreakable will to live. It is the very will to live that is now growing ever stronger within you. A soft, open palm, a strong closed fist, a lingering distant shadow. You struggle to loosen the swaddling clothes wrapped around you and extend a tiny hand into the world. We're gonna reach out. Do we smile at the shadow, reach out to the fist, or reach out to the palm? I feel like reaching out to the fist. But smiling at... is the shadow death itself? Let's laugh at death itself. Smile at the shadow. Your first smile appears on your face, awkward yet genuine. Your mother and father exchange looks and start talking. You know no words yet, so all you hear is a sequence of booming sounds. But the stranger behind them has no need for words. The stranger's look is all it takes for you to feel the will to live, an act that now burns within you. Our willpower is +10, a full of power. Okay. The shadow brings a finger to its lips as if to say, is that a misspelling? The shadow brings a finger to its lips as if to say, there, baby, don't cry. This is our secret now. And then the shadow melts into the light. I think that's a misspelling there. That was supposed to be an if. Could be wrong. So we got willpower points. Birth, year 1118. Your life in this world begins. How will you live it? Recklessly. A lot of parties and booze and strippers. Year 1, childhood. Hide and seek. Oh my god, that's shrill. I'm gonna turn this down just a tad bit more. That actually hurt my ears. As the days go by, you learn to tell your parents apart. You recognize father by his heavy breath and strong, cold hands. He visits you rarely. Robert Brant. Hello there, little Davvon Brant. Wait, how's his voice? Heavy breath, strong, cold hands. What does it really say? Hello there, little Davvon Brant. Mother's tender voice, however, follows you day and night. My, you're growing so quickly, my child. There are 2 more children in the family named Stefan and Gloria. Gloria sings songs to you. Don't expect me to sing. She often dresses you in tight clothing and gently holds your hands as you lean and learn to take your first steps. Stefan likes to sweep you up and pinch you and toss you into the air. Lydia Brant. Oh, look, this is your brother and sister. Yeah, and you're my little brother. We're gonna play together, but I'll always be in charge because you were born a commoner. That's rude. Gloria, be quiet, you. He doesn't understand yet. Come on, baby Davvon. Let's go play in the yard. It is hot outside. You grip your brother's sound again. You grip your brother's hand with one hand and your sister's with another as they help you walk down the giant stone stairs. Then you sit on the ground and start exploring the sparse blades of grass with your fingers. It tickles. In the sky far above and away from you is a gigantic pillar, a perfectly straight stick made of light. It is so bright it hurts to look at it. Davvon Brante. Why are you staring at the shining pillar? It's not going anywhere, you know. Hey, I want to play hide and seek. Gloria, he's just a little baby. How is he gonna play? Davvon Brante. Then you hide him and I'll try to find both of you. You have no idea what they're talking about, but you support them with happy cooing. This is strange, but so exciting. Davvon and Gloria glance at each other. Then your brother walks to a big tree, closes his eyes, and starts shouting something else. Gloria takes your hand and walks you through the yard. Your sister takes you behind some thick bushes by a tall wall. The light from the light stick on the horizon barely reaches here. You can't see home from this place. The ground is crawling with tiny black bugs. Gloria sits you down on the ground and puts a finger to your mouth for some reason, and then she's gone. You can no longer hear Davvon's voice. Gloria is nowhere to be seen. You feel colder. The bugs are no fun to play with. You've been sitting here for a long time, completely alone. Nobody checks on you. Did they forget about you? Did they abandon you? Let's be independent. Do we cry loudly, find your way home, or sit there and wait? I think I would get impatient and try to find the way home. If that was me in this situation, I would totally get impatient. You get up on your feet, swaying a little bit. Careful, you take your first step, then lose your balance and plop down on the ground again. But you are determined. You get up again and keep walking in the direction Gloria went. You walk out of the bushes and further toward the wall of the house, and then the most tender and gentle hands in the whole world embrace you and pick you up. Mother has found you. Lydia Brante. There you are. You lean on Mother's chest and hold on to her with your arms. You want her to know that you came here all by yourself without any help. She pats you on the head. Your brother and sister stand behind her, clearly feeling guilty. Gloria is in tears. Davvon is staring at his feet. Staring, not starting. They do have a couple misspellings in this. You hug Mother tightly. She is here now. Determination, +1. We're still spineless, though. I don't want to be spineless. I want to be a strong, independent little baby. Continue. Year 1120, 2 years old. The Great Descent. Another memory. You are still a little child, but you can already talk and run around on your own. Today is out of the ordinary. Father is busy around the house giving orders to the servants. Throughout the day, the kitchen has been abuzz with work, and there is solemn, gloomy preparations and candles being lit. Even your older brother Davvon is quiet today. Mother takes your hands and brings you to your sister Gloria. Wait 1 second here. I want to get some water. All right, next page. Lydia Brante. My son, today is the Great Descent. We honor the day when the twin gods descended to us. We must spend this day in reverence to the gods. You are too young to understand, so just do everything your sister says for now. Gloria takes you to the playroom. There are no toys there, no chairs. Even the carpet has been taken away. There is nothing there but a bare wooden floor. Gloria. Today we're not allowed to go to any other rooms, and we'll be eating nothing but gruel and stale bread. On the day of the Great Descent, everyone must be where they belong. I keep wanting to say Great Depression, not Great Descent. It is quiet, unusually so. Muffled voices from beyond the door are all you can hear. You are sitting on the cold floor, confused, with no idea what to do. Then you hear your sister's voice, a lonely sound in the empty room. It is a little song that Mother taught her. You hold your breath as you listen to it. Gloria. When the twins come down to earth, they brought lots for every birth. Let us count them. 1, 2, 3. Twins made them for you and me. Nobles rule and bravely fight. They protect us with their might. Priests work hard to understand, guide us by the twins' commands. Common people work and toil, always patient, never spoiled. Live your lot where you were born to the day where when you pass on. Know your lot and know the prayer, for the twins see everywhere. You are transfixed by the tune. Gloria notices your gaze and a smile creeps across her face. Gloria, you like the rhyme, don't you, Davvon? Do you know what it's all about? Look, there are 3 lots. They were brought to us by the twins when they were dispensed to us from the shining pillar. Remember that pillar of light on the horizon? That's it. You can see the shining pillar anytime from anywhere in the world. If you follow your if you follow your lot as you live, you'll reach the peak of the pillar, and if you don't, you'll get eternal torment at the foot. You and I are lowborn. Mom is a commoner too, so the lot for you and me is to suffer and be patient and work hard. Understand? The priests and the nobles have other lots. The nobles fight and rule over everybody. The priests, well, I'm not really sure what they do, but I guess they talk to the twins and then teach everybody. Gloria stares at you intently. Did you get it, silly? Then she shakes her head and keeps singing the song over and over again. Her voice transfixes you, drawing you in. The room starts to glow like the sky. From this light emerges 2 figures you have known ever since the moment of your birth. One of them embraces your sister's shoulder. The other stands guard behind her back. You watch this happening before your very eyes, unable to turn away. Okay, so how do they decide the lights? Like, do you get a lot assigned to you when you're born? I guess we'll find out. And are we gonna challenge our lot in life? I've always been against being told what my lot in life is, if that makes sense. Gloria is swaying to the song, unaware of what is happening. She sings the final verses once more. Know your lot and know the prayer. You feel compelled by this divine sight to express yourself somehow. You feel words condensing within you from the light. But what will these words be? I think I'm going to sing the last line wrong. You shout the words of your own instead of the last line of the song. I'm going to do that one. I'm going to be a rebel. Gloria, know your lot and know the prayer. The lots are lies told everywhere. I like that line. I like that line. You shout these words, but you have no idea how they came to you. The shining pair standing behind her back turn to look at you. You can feel their gaze piercing you from top to bottom. When the moment passes, they melt into the dim light coming from the window. Now Gloria is staring at you. You see disappointment in her eyes. So those must be the twins looking at me then, I would assume. Gloria, Davvon, that's not the way the song ends. Why did you ruin it? You shrug, quite pleased with your cleverness. Determination +1 equals 2. We are now active. You know, pretty smart little rhyme for a 2-year-old. Year is 1121. We are now 3 years of age. Little drink of the old water here quick. Year 1121. Spring, the origin. You are starting to understand more and more of what the adults say. Your family is an unusual one. Your father is a nobleman, but not by birth. His is a title earned through great service, but your mother is a low-born woman, a commoner. Because of this, you are born a commoner, but father says you may yet come unto nobility. You learn to read at an early age. Together with mother, you read and learn by the heart many poems about the divine twins, the twin gods who reside upon the shining pillar. Mother calls these poems prayers. Again and again, you try to discern the shapes of the gods in the strip of holy light that shines in the sky all day and night, but the light is too blinding to gaze upon. The greatest joy of all is when the stairs are no longer an insurmountable obstacle. Now you can climb and even jump from step to step. Father urges you to be more careful and avoid climbing too high, but even though you keep falling, you never stop being curious about the world around you. Your older brother Stefan now spends less and less time playing with Gloria and you. Playing with commoners is beneath a nobleman to be, he says, so Gloria calls him names and Stefan pulls her pigtails. One fine evening, Father gathers you all in the sitting room with an announcement. You'll have another little brother or sister soon. Gloria asks him to bring home a little sister. Another brother would be too much. Stefan gets frustrated. There are too many little siblings getting in his way as it is. Soon you'll be an older brother too, and it doesn't matter who the youngest will be, a boy or a girl. You will love them the most. When Father comes back from his trips, he reads his adult books aloud for you. You find those stories of wars, generals, and rebellions quite enchanting. And father approves of your fascination. Robert Brante. Study hard and work. Maybe one day you'll become a noble of the mantle and earn your sword. But first, you need to grow up. Growing up, the concept is as terrifying as it is alluring. The lot of suffering. You keep staring at the carpet under your feet. You are both ashamed and proud, and it feels odd. A scratch on your hand stings a little. Stefan is standing next to you, sniffling from pain. Your brother was training in the yard with a wooden sword. You wanted to play with him, but he ended up getting angry and throwing the sword at you. The stick hit you in the shoulder. You picked it up and hit him with it. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You see Mother's shoes walking to and fro on the carpet. You do not want to look up. You would rather not see her angry. She is not as gentle to you these days. Lydia Brante. Why did you hurt Stefan, Davvon? You stammer out an explanation. He hit you first. You just hit him back. Stefan Brante. How dare he pester me like that? When I grow up, I'm gonna hit you with a real sword. Mother shushes you both and speaks to you again. Her voice is stern, and yet you can still feel her concern for you. Lydia Brante. Even if Stefan hits you, cannot hit him back. You are my son. I was born a commoner. Your lot is to suffer, but your brother was born from a noble father and a noble mother. His sacrament is coming soon, and then he'll rule over the likes of us. If you hurt a noble, you must be punished, and that is your lot. And the sooner you learn it, the better off our entire family will be. Now Stefan looks at you in triumph. You look up at Mother in fear, not sure what to do. Accept your punishment, accept your guilt, and tell Mother you are ready to be punished. Deny your guilt. You continue to insist that you are not guilty. You will not be punished no matter what. Demand the Mother explain why things are like this. I was pestering him, I guess. And conditions met, personality unlocked, willpower above 0. I don't want to be a little bitch, though. I'm 3. I should accept my punishment. For my mother's sake. The lot of suffering. You look down and agree with what she has just said. You are ready to be punished. You start apologizing to Stefan, but he turns his back on you. Before you can finish, your mother takes your hand and leads you away. You do not want to follow her. Your hands are getting sweaty and your legs are growing heavy. Then suddenly, she stops and bends down to... She bends down... Okay, it reads, then suddenly she stops and bends down to closer to you, look you straight into your eyes. I wish they would have proofread their game a little bit. Then suddenly she stops and bends down closer to you to look you straight into your eyes. There, I made it up for you. Lydia Brante. My son, I see you understand our lot now. We do not defy, we suffer. That is our only path to the twins after all our deaths. Our only way to reach eternal bliss atop the peak of the pillar. Our virtue is meekness. We are humble in our words. We work hard. We think what is right. You have shown all this. I am so proud of you. I'm not proud of myself. She hugs you, and you finally release the pent-up tears. You feel much more at ease now. You are flogged in front of your entire family. The pain burns on your skin again and again, but you feel the touch of the divine law with each blow. +2 sympathy. Robert Brante's son from his first marriage and a noble at birth from his young age. Stefan Brante. Oh, +2 sympathy with Stefan Brante. Okay. Okay. Status. Your mother remembers what you did. She's grateful. Willpower -5. No. Okay, that's it. We ain't taking anybody else's crap from now on. I don't care what anybody else's lot is. Gloria's rhymes. Mother mostly stays in her chambers now. With each passing day, she grows heavier and her features grow rounder. It gets difficult for her to walk, but she still smiles all the time. One day, she takes your hands and puts them in her big belly, and you feel a movement deep inside her. You'll have another brother or sister here soon. Gloria takes you on walks through the yard now. You explore the yard together under the evening light of the pillar, and she sings songs and tells you amazing stories. Gloria. Hey Davvon, do you want to hear a rhyme? I wrote it myself. There's even a bit about you. But don't tell anyone, okay? Writing poems and songs is only for nobles. If mommy hears about it, I'll get flogged. Remember how you got flogged for hitting Stefan? Our judge is my second father. In the past, I had another. Mother says the twins are great, says we should not fight our fate. Brother loves to jump around. Please don't fall down on the ground. See, I wrote a little rhyme. Please don't tell them that it's mine. But today, your sister is nowhere to be seen. She promised to take you to the old pond and show you the red frogs that live there, but then she vanished. The servants join you in your search. Even Mother leaves her chambers in tears. Okay, the servants join you in your search. Even Mother leaves her chambers when she hears the commotion. Finally, you find Gloria in the far corner of the garden. She is holding a quilt and sheets of paper covered in poetry. Mother becomes angry the moment she sees it. She looks through the poetry and her face grows dark with rage. Gloria is standing before her, wringing her hands and looking for an opportunity to run, but there seems to be no escape. Lydia Brant. What is this nonsense, Gloria? We talked about this. You were told to take care of your little brother. You are absolutely not allowed to entertain yourself with this writing. Gloria. I can decide that for myself, Mom. Lydia. No, you cannot. It has already been decided by the gods. Gloria. And he's not a little brother anymore. He doesn't need a nanny, and I need some time alone to think for myself. I'm not hurting anyone. Lydia. You are a commoner and a future wife. It's time you learned how to properly care for children. Had your disgraceful former father kept me in his house, you could have been born a noble. But that is not our fate, and you are absolutely forbidden from ever spoiling paper and wasting ink again. Mother grabs Gloria firmly by the hand and takes you both into the house. The scribbled sheets fly into the fireplace. Gloria sobs violently. You are a bystander to the scene, unsure of how to react. Complain about your sister? No. Offer to write rhymes with her? I wish I had. Comfort your sister. I'm going to comfort my sister. Gloria's rhymes. Mother leaves. The last of your sister's poetry burns away in the fireplace. You walk up to your crying sister and take her by the hand. None of this is her fault, you say. What Mother did is wrong and far too harsh. Gloria sniffles before speaking. Gloria. But I did leave you all alone. You're not mad at me, really? You nod in reassurance. Gloria embraces you. Gloria. Davvon, you're the best little brother in the world. The two of you make a little deal. She promises to tell you when she wants to be alone, and you promise to protect her and her secrets always. +2 sympathy with Gloria. He is grateful. The illegitimate daughter of your mother, Lydia. She has never met her real father. Her position in the family is precarious. Robert Brant has never acknowledged her as his own daughter. Your sister is a dreamer. She often has her head in the clouds and acts reckless at times. Gotcha. I lost more willpower. Why did I lose more willpower for that? -5 willpower. I guess we have like no willpower left, maybe? Or is that 5 willpower we have left? All right, onward. The year 1122. We are now 4 years of age. Winter, the coming sacrament. Mother is in her armchair, knitting woolen jackets, pants, and socks for the little one. The baby will need to be kept warm, she says. Father spends less time at home now. Mother says he's very busy with his important job. He is a judge, after all. One day you decide to ask Mother about Stefan and Gloria. How come they're brother and sister to you, but not siblings to each other? Lydia Brant. Well, my dear, I didn't give birth to Stefan, you see. He's the son of another mother, and Gloria is the daughter of another father. Come now, don't you knit your brows like that. You'll understand when you're older. How is that even possible? You're all family, are you not? Several days later, Mother calls Stefan and Gloria to the sitting room. You sneak in after them. At first, Mother gets angry and asks you to leave, but then she relents. You are told to sit still, be quiet, and remember every word you hear. Lydia Brant. When you enter the temple, bow to the twins. First to the elder on the right, and then to the younger on the left. Stefan, you're a nobleman to be, so walk along the side paved with marble, where the benches are. Gloria, you walk along the sharp side. So we want to bow to the right and then to the left. Elder right, younger left. Right, left. When you're there, you must get down on your knees, each on your own side. Stefan, kiss the sword. Gloria, my daughter, they will strike you with the lash. Don't be afraid of it. Resign yourself for the suffering it brings. It is the blessing of your lot. Gloria doesn't like the idea of the lash. There's a tense feeling in your chest as well. You were told to remember this. Will the lash strike you too one day? On the next day, they take your brother and sister to the temple. You run towards them when they finally come back. The back of Gloria's dress is soaked with blood. She's hunched a bit, sobbing quietly. Stefan is putting on airs, acting prouder than ever. Nothing else looks different about them. It's all like the same as it has been, and yet everything has changed. Each of them has accepted their lot. Stefan Brante, relations -1. He's +1 in difference. Robert Brante is the son of his first marriage and a noble by birth. From a young age, he has been striving to be the first in all things and demonstrate his superiority to the family. Why did I get -1 unity? Disagreements. Represents how close and trusting your family is. It affects the fate of your family members. Okay. Brother and sister sacrament, year 1122. Your siblings Stefan and Gloria took their first sacrament at the temple. You eye the little bundle in your father's arms with curiosity. Behind the many layers of swaddling clothes is your newborn baby brother. Mother is glowing and smiling with joy. Stefan and Gloria are also there, all excited. You promised yourself you're going to be the best big brother in the world. You'll never hit him. Oh no, the two of you will play together and tease Stefan together and help mother together and go on so many adventures together. It feels so strange to be an older brother. Just the other day you were the youngest in the family, but everything is different now. Your parents names your little brother Nathan, and mother spends day and night by his side, and Nathan cries all the time, day and night. Mother barely gets any sleep. She is so worn out she starts forgetting things. Like today, for instance, she forgot her knitting in the armchair in the sitting room. You'd better bring it back to her as soon as possible. You run to mother's bedroom. You miss her smile so much. You walk in without saying hello and give her the knitting, but instead of gratitude, you get an ice-cold, exhausted stare. Nathan is also there, screaming all the time. Lydia Brante, go away, Davvon. You're bothering me. She spits these words out through her teeth. You look at the bawling newborn. She can't even get a minute of respite. Lydia Brante, enough already. When are you going to stop? I just want some peace and quiet. Mother leaps across the room and starts shaking Nathan with malice in her eyes. His cries get even louder. She looks so tired from her never-ending scream. She seems to be within an inch of smashing him against the wall. Somebody has to do something. You're scared of your mother right now, but you fear for Nathan's life much more. Snatch Nathan from mother, hug mother, redirect her anger to yourself, or call father for help. I feel like if I call father for help, it might be too late. And then it might bring bad things on your mother. Redirect her anger to yourself. Might just make her more angry. Snatch Nathan from her might... I don't think that'll stop anything. I think hugging her might be the best thing to do. This is a tough one. I don't want to make her even more angry. I'll hug mother. The newborns cry. You lock the mother quickly and lock her tightly in an embrace. Your arms are too short, the folds of her dress get in the way, but that does not stop you. She shudders at your unexpected touch and tries to free herself. Let me go. Stop tormenting me, says Lydia. But you only latch onto her even tighter. There's no way you're letting her go, not even if she screams at you or hits you. No way. You are here now. You will protect her and comfort her. Nathan stops screaming, and an odd sobbing sound escapes his little baby mouth as if he's too tired to scream. Mother accepts your sudden presence now. You feel her relax, and her movements become calmer, but there's still no way you're letting go. Not yet. Then you hear a quiet song, your mother's song. She is singing a lullaby to Nathan. He squeaks a little and then starts snoring quietly. Then he calmed down as well. Mother is now calmer in your embrace. Nathan is breathing quietly in his sleep. Lydia Brante, now please let me go, my dear. I have to put Nathan to bed. You release mother and she puts Nathan back in the crib. After a little pause, she turns to you. Her face still weary, but there is no sign of anger. She sits down next to you. Lydia Brante, thank you, my son. The twins know I didn't want to hurt you or Nathan. I am so sorry. Please don't be angry with me. You did what you needed to. You gave me the strength to work through this. She hugs you tightly. You do the same and press your forehead against her. She smells like home. Your tears finally start to flow, but they are tears of happiness now. She pats you on the head and kisses your forehead. Nathan is sleeping quietly in his crib. It feels so good when things are as they should be. +3 sympathy with Lydia Brandt, a humble commoner from the outskirts of Anazate. Neither her lowly origins nor the fact that your grandfather directly forbade the marriage stopped your father from taking her into his home. She now manages the household and raises Robert's children. Your mother is devoted to her faith and insists that her children observe their lots. +3 sympathy. Unity +1 peace. I think I chose right there. So in this portion of the chapter, your younger brother Nathan was born. Year 1123. We are 5 years of age. Boy soldiers, you wake up to father's touch on your shoulder. He's finally back home after a long trip. Robert Brante. Davvon, today is your special day, the day when you begin your studies. Now teachers will be coming to your home to teach you, and you must do everything they say. Be diligent in your studies, and you will grow closer to the nobleman's lot. And since you must remember this day, a present is in order. Lydia, get your little schoolboy dressed. I'm taking him to the market district. Stefan wants to come with you too, but father shushes him sternly. This is your day. Your elder brother is hurt to hear this, but stays quiet. An open carriage takes the two of you through the dusty, noisy streets, a pleasant wind tussling your hair. Your city is called Anazat, and that you already know. It is one of the largest cities in the entire empire. There is a big shadow on the street. It comes from the white foliage of an enormous tree that spreads its branches all above the city. Robert Brante. My son, did you know that silver tree grew from the blood of our God's own disciples? It has been growing here for hundreds of years right in our city. It cannot be damaged or burned. Not even the clergy know why. The carriage comes to a halt by a small shop next to a city square. You run there and freeze by the stalls in excitement. The shop is packed with dolls and figurines and toys. You've never seen so many at once before. Have you chosen your present yet? Father asks. You want the Holy Order set, which includes several figurines of the Empire's greatest warriors of all time. You rattle off everything you know about the Holy Order. They were the ones who aided the Emperor's own forces in seizing the province of Magra and storming our city. That's how we joined the Empire. Father nods in approval. Robert Brante. Very well. War isn't your lot for now, but maybe these toy soldiers will teach you to think like a general. We will lead them into a battle and study military strategy. Go ahead, take your present. Having said this, father turns away to examine the books. You run to the box of toy soldiers, delirious with excitement. But there is a fancy-dressed boy in your way. He's about to take your warriors for himself. He elbows you aside and reaches for the box. Anger overcomes you, and you push him from behind. Your opponent falls to the floor. The rich boy screams so loudly, everybody in the shop hears it. He hit me! He hit me! A tall tower of a man looms over you. This is the boy's father, but then you feel your father's hands on your shoulders. Robert Brante. What happened? You press against your father, your mind more at ease now. He will protect you. Yes, you shoved the boy to the floor in front of everyone, but he tried to take your present for himself. Father turns you around to face him when he hears these words. Robert Brante. Is this true, Davvon? Do you strike the son of a nobleman? You step between the adults and say it was your fault. You tell him the truth. Or you deny your guilt. I think we should be accountable for our actions and admit our guilt. You recall mother's words. If you hurt a noble, you must be punished. There is no use trying to lie to escape it. You say it was all your fault. You pushed the other boy to the floor because you wanted to get your present before him. Father nods to you, relieved to hear it, and the enraged nobleman grabs you by the hand and drags you onto the street. The law is the law, and your punishment is due. They lead you and the nobleman's son out of the shop. You are told to bow to him and show humility. A bad feeling sends a shiver down your spine. With a satisfied grin on your face, the boy swings his arm and slaps you on the cheek. He strikes you again and again. Father stays quiet all the while, but as you ride home after the punishment is over, he shows you a rectangular package. Robert Brant, I am proud to see you living by your lot. A common birth leads to the life of a humility, and you told the truth and accepted your punishment like a man. This present is yours, my son. Inside it is a little box with the 10 soldiers of the Holy Order inside. They are your reward for humility. +3 sympathy with Robert Brant. Status grateful. Willpower -5. Okay, I'm losing my willpower. I don't like that. This whole lot system's already beaten me into submission. It's time to start rebelling a little bit, I think. Year 1124, summer, the family dinner, age 6. Today, father ordered the dinner table to be brought out into the yard. For the first time in months, he's home, outside of the confines of his always locked study. He spent the entire day playing with Nathan and you, discussing various matters with Stefan, now an adolescent, and walking in the garden. And now a dinner under the open sky. Your entire family gathers around, with father at the head of the table, smiling. He asks each of you about your studies. Nathan climbs up on his knee and recites a counting rhyme in a funny sing-song voice. Stefan mentions that his fencing teacher praised his accomplishments. He rises from the table together with father to show his skill in a practice duel. Next comes Gloria's turn. She stands on her chair and recites a lengthy prayer by heart. Mother showers your sister with praise. Father chuckles quietly, hiding a smile on his mustache. When your turn comes, you recite all the ranks in Legion, from common soldier to high commander. Stefan listens to you with a skeptical look on his face. Night slowly falls, but the servants ensure that the yard is well illuminated. You don't feel cold in the dust tonight. It feels good yet so important. All of you are finally together, sitting at the same table. No fighting, just smiles. No arguing, just pleasant small talk. Then a servant approaches father with a letter in his hand. He reads it in the dim light, and each line gradually washes a smile off his father's face until only a stone-cold mask remains. Mother looks at father with an unspoken question in her eyes. Robert Brant. Gregor Brant is coming back to Ansatz. He is the head of our family, my father. So my grandfather then. Grandfather's return, year 1124. Your grandfather Gregor Brant returned to the family home from the capital. The intrusion. Ever since the news of grandfather's impending arrival, there has not been a single day when the house has not been cleaned or decorated. Your parents anxiously make sure everything is in order. They tell you to wash your face and hands after walks and scold you for leaving books on the floor. They tell Gloria she'll be flogged if she's ever seen hiding in the attic. They make Stefan stay in his room. Even baby Nathan gets in trouble. Everyone is on edge. Then one day, grandfather arrives. It is a grim day, so hot your neck is sticky with sweat. Father, mother, Stefan, Gloria, you, and Nathan, the entire Brant family stands on the porch in front of the house. The house servants lined up behind you. The carriage arrives, and out steps a tall, gaunt old man with a heavy walking stick and a heavier gaze. You cringe instinctively. Robert Brant. Good health to you, father. Children, greet your grandfather as you've been taught. Gregor Brant. Still looking like a real nobleman, are you? You can't fool me, Robert. I was the first of the Brant family known to be emboldened by the mantle, and I'm the only one who remembers how to bear this burden properly. Robert Brant. I live honorably by my lot. Gregor. Your marriage to that low-born wench cut us off from ever becoming nobles of the sword. My progeny could have been born bearing noble blood. Robert. Father, I beg you, this is not the place. Grandfather eyes him with scorn and walks into the house, the entire family following close behind him. Gregor. I have been away far too long. The entire house is a mess. This is an insult. How can you live in such a pigsty, Robert? The servants have grown far too lazy, all thanks to your commoner of a wife. I warned you, did I not? And yet you did as you saw fit. And the children, what do they know of tradition or honor? Robert Brant. They are being raised in a virtuous family, father. Gregor. And now you are speaking like a lowborn who's content to live in humility. Twins willing, now that I am here, this will not happen again. I am taking your oldest son to the capital. I see you cannot provide Stefan with a proper education, so I will correct your mistakes. Your brother's fate has been decided just like that. Father does not object. He orders the servants to prepare Stefan for the journey. Stefan freezes in place, glancing at grandfather and father again and again. The latter puts a hand on his shoulder, reassuringly. Grandfather's lips are tight-lined, white with contempt. The house is examined, room after room. Everything grandfather sees is showered with scorn. He scoffs at a crease on a blanket in Nathan's crib and mother's bedroom. He mocks Gloria's knitting in her room. The door to your room is next. Gregor. What is this, Robert? Tin soldiers in your younger son's room? He was born a commoner. I won't have him daydreaming of battle. Grandfather seizes the box containing the tin warriors of the Holy Order. Your father stays silent. Anger and fear boil within you. This is your big present from the first day of your studies. It means so much to you. But what if he's right? What if you need to prove your right to command the toy soldiers first? Grandfather shakes his head in disapproval and shoves the toy box into the roaring fireplace. And if you wait too long, they will melt into flames. Well, I have a choice of either bursting into tears or striking grandfather. Watch them melt helplessly and rescue your tin soldiers. Shoot, I don't have perception or determination, so we're gonna go. Honestly, grandfather's kind of a dick. We're gonna punch him. I'm gonna kick him in the leg. We kicked him. Overwhelmed by helpless rage, you run to grandfather, kick him in the leg with all the strength you can muster. Yet he is immovable. The next thing you see is him leaning, towering over you menacingly, his heavy walking stick in hand. Gregor. Lowborn scum! How dare you raise a hand at me? The blow hits home. The handle of the walking stick is as heavy as a rock. You are dazed, robbed of both hearing and sight. Down comes another blow. A sharp pain splits your head, then darkness. Your hand twitches against your will, then again and again, like you're trying to catch a flying butterfly, and then you fall into a primordial void. The void takes away a part of you, one of the lives you were given to live. It will never return. There is pain and desperation and a sense of loss. Nothing can be done now. Hey, I died. First death. You fall into a pain that embraces you like a soft boy, the feather bed. You feel light, free. There are no restraints, just a warm glow that envelops you in a secure embrace. The wave carry you. Their touch is soft. They delicately enshroud what was once your body. There's a feeling unlike anything you ever experienced before, something absolute and complete. You touch something greater, the reason behind everything, the reason for your very existence. You were sculpted from this first light. It was the first thing you ever felt, a boundless and sincere unity of the diverse. Your beginning was a spark that cast its light in all directions, and now you are here again, one with the beginning of everything. The light gleaming from you resembles the light of the shining pillar. You still see it in the north, as always. The waves of light carry you to two figures. The elder is nearest. He is ready to accept you. He is quiet, wise, kind, and pure. The younger waits further back. You do not know what he is yet. The waves pause at the elder's feet. He leans over you and plants a feather-like kiss on your forehead. The kiss spreads all over you. You are filled with unparalleled delight and bliss. You exist. You are unique. There is no one else like you. You know this, and they love you. You will never be alone. You are a part of them, a part of your family, a part of this universe. Twin gods will never leave you. They will watch over you constantly. The elder softly touches you as you lie spread out amongst the waves, sending you further down the torrent of light. You float on to the top of the silver tree's spreading crown. The closer you get to the silver tree, the heavier you become. The waves draw you down along its trunk, but you do not wish to part with the warmth and the softness with the love. You turn around. The elder is still watching you. He nods. All is as it should be. Go, your time has not yet come. You must return to the world now. As you tumble down your body, you comprehend the true meaning of your lesser death and the divine love that has been revealed to you. Love exists not only in the hereafter, it is present in the entire design of the twins. That is the origin of all life in this world. What is the manifestation of this love in your mortal life? Empire. By creating the empire, the twin gods cared for all living creatures. The empire is the only thing that gives us a place in the world and a connection to others. It is an enormous family made for people by the gods. Now, I'll pass on that one. Lot. The gods give you a clear mission in this world, thus gifting you your very being. This is the manifestation of their love for you and for all living things. Family. Love always lives in kindred blood. You share the miracle of life and the universe with your kin. Your family is what you are given upon being born and what you leave behind when you depart. Cause. The love of the gods have for you is so great that they allow you to change the world they have created, to influence it with your deeds. So whatever your mission is, it is a proof of the twin gods' love for you. Yourself. What could be stronger manifestation of love than your very existence? Your every emotion, every thought, every action exists by the virtue of the love from which the twin gods created you. Remain silent. You do not find the answer you seek. I'm gonna go with cause. A sudden comprehension of the love with which the entire world is imbued eliminates in your mind, but then it fades away and vanishes. You regain the sensation of your flesh. It is heavy and unwieldy. It lacks that lightness, that light. It is a burden. It is smothering you. You gasp for air. Your chest expands painfully. You feel as though your lungs are about ready to burst. The stagnant odor of the crypt fills them, revolting but so real. You are back. Then you smell a sickly, moist smell. You feel dampness all around you. You come back to your senses in the gloom of the family crypt, lying flat on the stone slab. Your parents are on their way to the crypt right now. You hear their muffled voices. They are arguing, and against all rules, Mother will not agree with Father. Lydia Brant. Why would Sir Gregor do this? He just took one of our child's lives. Robert. Lydia, my father is our family's head, and the boy raised a hand to him. There was nothing we could do, and Father did admit that he was too hard on him. Please do not anger Sir Gregor. You need to accept this. It will never happen to any of our children ever again. Their voices grow quiet as they lean over you. You lean on your elbows to try and get up from the stone. Mother gingerly wraps her cloak over you, your naked body as you shiver from the cold. Lydia Brant. My son, your first death came far too soon. I know it may be difficult to realize what happened, but know this, the twin gods are ever merciful. You are a child, and your time to leave for the hereafter has not yet come. You'll be returned here by the gods twice more, but not tempt fate again, and never, ever defy those who can easily take your life. Okay, so we get 3 lives, 3 chances. Davvon, you have angered your grandfather greatly. Do not stand in Sir Gregor's way ever again, and he will never hurt you again. For now, just stay away from him from now. Stay away from him. Father stays a step away from you, not saying a word. When Mother finishes talking, he picks you up and carries you outside. Together, your parents take you from the family crypt. On your way out of the crypt, you take a moment to touch your head. It is perfectly fine. There is no sign of the blow. Back home, Grandfather is still working through the house, examining the rooms. You can see that Stefan and Gloria are disturbed by what just happened. Nathan starts crying when he sees you. The playroom still reeks of burnt paint. There's something new about you now, a pitch black stripe on your left arm. It looks like a strange bit of dirt at first, but it will not wash off. Will be like that forever, Mother explains. That is all she will say of it. Relations, -1. Distaste. Grandfather does not like me at all. Termination +1. Perception +1. Deaths. Died once. Beyond event has happened. The conditions suffer your first death. As a small child, you suffer your first death and rebirth. Okay. Well, I mean, at least we got 2 more lives. Year 1124. Fall. The master of the house. Soon Grandfather leaves. Your elder brother Stefan goes with him. From that day on, Father's hired teachers tend to you alone. They bore you with monotonous lectures on writing, counting, and the way of life, and the blessed Arcanian Empire. You often distract yourself in their instruction by playing with your younger brother Nathan. I keep wanting to say Arcanian every single time I read Arcanian. Your home grows quiet without your elder brother. Too quiet. Weeks later, your family receives a letter from Stefan. Grandfather has sent him to a boarding school for nobles, and he is now studying hard in preparation for his service as a nobleman. Stefan Brant. The rules here are way too strict. You can't even sneeze without the teacher's permission. But I've been studying with my peers. We're learning how to live as nobles in a noble society. We're also learning the art of swordplay. That's my favorite part, says Stefan Brant in his letter. With Stefan now at the boarding school, Grandfather arrives once more, this time to live in your home. The only good thing is that he often has urgent business in Eterna, the capital of the Empire, and has to travel there. One day, you ask Mother where he lived before. in Eterna, she says, but now his place is here. Each time grandfather returns, he gives the servants new orders. Your home is now always busy with repairs. The servants are redecorating grandfather's chambers, including his library and sitting room. Sometimes father tries to gently talk him out of this. Why subject the house to constant reconstruction? Grandfather's answer is always the same. This home is mine. Now I'll always live here as it befits a man of the nobility, Gregor Brandt says. An illustrious guest. Some days, grandfather stays home, and on those days you try your best to stay out of his sight. But there is no way you can avoid family breakfast. The food is there, but you cannot bring yourself to eat it. Mother's eyes are red and swollen. She has been crying all night again. Grandfather sits at the head of the table where nobody used to sit before. Gregor Brandt. Robert, it's time. Your youngest sons underwent their sacraments. Lydia Brandt. Sir Brante, please, let them live free of the law for a while longer. They are but... Sir Gregor Brandt. Shut your mouth. Robert, that wife of yours is impertinent enough to interrupt me. If this ever happens again, she'll be eating her gruel with the servants at the kitchen where she belongs. It is time you considered a real marriage, Robert. One to a woman of a proper station. Gloria drops her fork. Grandfather shoots her a scathing look. A tear rolls down her mother's cheek. Father does not look away from the plate, his hands clenched into fists. Gregor Brandt. Baroness L. Loder is such woman. She is a comely widow and a fine match. She is suing for her inheritance right now and can use proper support and a husband. You can keep your lowborn Lydia around if you like. Servant mistress, I don't care. Robert Brandt. I will not do that, father. Gregor Brandt. I am the head of this family, and the family's standing took a severe blow after you married that commoner. It is unthinkable. How could you give up the memory of beautiful Amelia L. Bourne for this lowly woman and that bastard child of hers? But now you have a chance to set things right. Don't disappoint me. Father nods curtly, trying not to look in mother's direction. Robert Brandt. Father, I wish to see Stefan. Gregor Brandt. If I find your conduct and Baroness's presence satisfactory enough, then you may see him. She is coming for a visit tomorrow. Be prepared. Grandfather wipes his mouth with his napkin, throws it onto his plate, and leaves. Mother's lips move silently. Nobody says a word. Then father stands up and orders you and the other children back to your rooms. He needs to speak to mother in private. Father comes to your room before bedtime. He sits on the edge of the bed and adjusts a crease on the woolen blanket. He distanced himself from you after Stefan's departure, so you are not used to such attention from him. In the candlelight, you can see his face in the dark. There is a sour expression on it. Robert Brandt. My son, Baroness Emma L. Loder, will be visiting us tomorrow. Please be polite and treat her with respect. Nathan will do as you do. I want this dinner to be as immaculate as possible. Don't let me down. On the next day, Mother starts dressing you and Nathan for the coming dinner. You see red all around her eyes. She's been crying, and for a long time, it hurts just to look at her. Nathan starts whining quietly. You and Nathan are dressed in new doublets. Your tousled hair brushed into shape. Gloria is told to stay in her room. Father appears wearing his best suit. Mother is in a humble brown dress, looking pale. Grandfather has an uncharacteristically contented look about him. You hear the sound of wheels and hooves against the cobbles in the yard, then a pair of dainty heels come clacking. The antechamber is completely quiet still, fearing grandfather's observant eye. The door opens. You see your guest, a beautiful dark-haired woman in a dress of elegant deep blue. Father takes the hand of Lady L. Loder and kisses it, showering her in compliments. Grandfather's face is beaming in her presence. No one even bothers to introduce Mother. Gregor Brandt. Baroness, allow me to introduce Robert's son, Davvon and Nathan Brandt. Frankly, it's his eldest, Stefan, who deserves the most attention, but currently is studying an attorney with other young noblemen like myself. It is my hope that his younger sons will also make me proud one day. Grandfather eyes you with a probing look. How will you act in front of the Baroness? Will you accept her here next to your mother, your father's rightful wife? Oh, this is tough. Maintain your composure. Demand that your mother be introduced. Walk away with mother. Greet the Baroness politely. I'm sorry. I'm sticking up for my mother. I demand that my mother be introduced. You follow father's example and kiss the Baroness's fingers gently. Her laughter fills the antechamber, ringing like chimes. Behind your back, you hear mother sobbing. Grandfather nods to you in approval. Out of the corner of your eye, you see mother quietly walk upstairs. No, this is wrong. This cannot be. Wait, I tried to introduce my mother. You walk up to father, look him into the eye, and ask in a voice loud enough to be heard by everyone. Why didn't he introduce mother to the guests? She is his legal wife and your mother, is she not? There is silence. Mother stops on the stairs and turns her head in surprise. Father is confused. Nathan starts whining again. Grandfather grinds his teeth and hands tightly gripping the heavy walking stick. You keep father transfixed by your gaze. After a few moments that feel like an eternity, he winks at you, almost imperceptibly, then adjusts his doublet and turns to your noble guest. Robert Brant. Baroness, allow me to introduce Lydia Brant, my wife and mother to my younger children. Lydia, would you be so kind as to join us for dinner? Gregor Brant. What are you saying, Robert? Robert Brant. Father, it would be a disgrace to hold a family dinner without the lady of the house. Father marches up the stairs and offers his hand to mother. She accepts it and walks down with a shy smile on her face. For the first time in those many days, the Baroness presses her lips in contempt at the sight. After a long moment, grandfather finally breaks the uneasy silence and leads everyone into the dining room. You guys can't see it right now, but I have the biggest shit-eating grin on my face right now. Mother sits at the furthest corner of the table, claiming that she needs to watch over Nathan. There is barely any small talk over dinner, apart from the Baroness and grandfather discussing her widowhood and inheritance litigation. Father and mother do not say a word throughout the meal, yet they no longer look as tense as the day before. There is not even a mention of any potential marriage. As soon as the door closes behind the Baroness, you flee to your bedroom and lock the door. Grandfather's heavy steps can already be heard in the hallway. He is a force of anger, eager to get his hands on you. Gregor Brant. Well, you have the nerve to interfere in the adult affairs. You ruined the dinner with the Baroness. Open this door this instant and face the punishment you deserve. Then suddenly his voice dies down. You hear father speaking quietly. Robert Brant, we both realize there can be no other marriages, Father. I already have a wife and there's nothing to be done about it. I'm sorry, Father, but you will have to accept it. And please leave my son alone. He only helped me face the truth and nothing else. Grandfather huffs and puffs at a loss for your words. You hear the head of Brant family and his adult son retreat from the door of your room. It seems there will be no punishment today after all. Grandfather leaves for Eterna, alone. About a fortnight later, father receives a letter from Stefan. It seems grandfather told him about the incident with the Baroness, and so the letter is full of ire. He writes that you have reminded high society about father's marriage to a low-born woman, and now the family's reputation is at stake. Father winces when he reads Stefan's letter deep in thought, but mother is smiling again because of father's actions. Her joy, a quiet and happy glow. Let's just say our grandfather really does not like us now. Peace, +1. We have a very peaceful family, but our reputation has been reduced by once we have tarnished honor. Year 1125. 7 years old. The kaleidoscope. Father now checks on your studies often and nitpicks you for sitting or eating or speaking in an incorrect fashion. Yo, the music just got bumping. Once he becomes so annoyed, he says that he wishes Stefan had been the one to stay home instead of you. You never expected to hear these words from your father, of all people. Grandfather's trip to the capital took longer than expected. It feels lighter around the house without his presence. You allow yourself a little change of scenery. Instead of your room, you now busy yourself at reading and calculations in the sitting room across from the open door to the yard. Gloria has joined you today. She has already helped you progress through several complex passages in the book. Right now, she seems preoccupied with a strange tube. Aren't you hurt by the way grandfather treats you, you ask? Gloria just shrugs. Gloria, grandfather always says that they should get rid of me. I'm used to it now. He hurts you a lot worse because you're closer to him. I just have to stay out of his way, that's it. She shows you the strange tube she has been holding all day. Gloria, look, it's a kaleidoscope. I got it as a gift. Want to see inside? Excited by the idea, you close the book and peer into the tiny hole on one end of the tube. Your eye sees a multitude of intricate patterns. Each turn of the tube reveals a new web of interwoven colors. They mesmerize you. The kaleidoscope turns the fire burning in the fireplace in a cavalry made of flames. You're riding at the front of the fiery horseman, ready to face the enemy. Grandfather's face emerges from the intersecting lines and you swing the kaleidoscope like a sword, cutting it in half. Now you look at the blue sky through the window. The patterns are unending, secretive, and calm and peaceful. Just like father's smile before grandfather's invasion. The deep blue gives you away to a scattering of gold radiating gentle warmth, like mother's arms. This fleeting beauty too soon gives way to a hypnotic new pattern. Again and again, you see your family in these interconnecting figures as they come together and break apart. And in the middle of this golden glow, you see Gloria's green eyes gazing at you observantly. Your sister left you long ago. The books are abandoned and time slips away unchecked, but you're still busy peering into the kaleidoscope. Order emerges from the chaos before your eyes again and again, but you cannot preserve it, no matter how hard you try. You're caught in an inner conflict. There is so much that can be done with this kaleidoscope. Should you take it apart, or ask Gloria how it works, or keep enjoying the patterns it shows you, but you still have lessons to do today. Keep looking through the kaleidoscope. Apparently I don't have enough willpower to do either of those. So we keep playing with it. You continue peering into the ever-changing patterns the kaleidoscope offers you. They become truly interesting when you point at the shiny pillar gleaming in the sky. In your mind's eye, one battle follows another, filling your ears with clanging steel and the neighing of horses. You are leading the Imperial Army now. Everybody is so proud of you. Grandfather says you are better than Stefan, and Father's stern voice cuts your daydream short. You lost all track of time. It is evening now. Rubber Brant. How did you get your hands on this toy, Davvon? Why aren't you studying? Give it to me. You will have double the lessons tomorrow. Yeah, we got more willpower. Nice. Oh, so that's what it meant by actions and willpower. So we gotta save our willpower. Okay. Grandfather's visits are no longer a cause for fear and panic in the house. He has become something you're used to, something nagging yet not unordinary, like a splinter or a stain in your trousers. In your trousers? On your trousers. We didn't wet ourselves. The tension still remains, however. Sir Gregor's disdain for everyone in the house is so palpable, it almost stings for real. Your lessons with the tutor are done for today. You are walking down the stairs when you spot Gloria peeping into the sitting room through a slightly open door. You sneak up on your sister and tap her lightly on the shoulder. She is startled. Gloria. Oh, it's you, Davvon. Look, Sir Gregor's eating something. Grandfather is sitting on the sofa, flipping through a book with one hand and reaching for a glass bowl with another now and then. Inside the bowl you see candied fruit. If sweet confectionery forbidden is the common estate, like all sweet things, yet grandfather's face shows no pleasure as he consumes the high-born treats. The clock strikes 3. Grandfather rises from his seat, puts away the bowl on a shelf, and leaves for the yard. He always takes a walk in the city at this time. Gloria nudges you with her elbows and looks at the candy bowl when you look at her. The first emotion you feel is fear, but next comes curiosity, and it is stronger. Stefan used to boast that candied fruit tastes incredible, and now you have a perfect opportunity to try it. You try a candied fruit first. The sugar starts to melt as soon as you put it on your tongue. It is so sweet. You've never eaten anything as good as this. You take the whole bowl off the shelf and give it to your sister. She takes the fruit and brings it to her mouth carefully, like a rare treasure. There is a thumping on the stairs. Footsteps accompanied by the knocking of a walking stick. You have no idea why, but grandfather is back. You quickly hide behind the sofa and pull Gloria after you, but she is frozen in place with the bowl in her hands. The door opens. Grandfather's menacing figure advances on Gloria. His hand seizes her arm. Gregor Brant. You squalid, ungrateful, low-born child. How dare you bite the hand that feeds you? You and your trollop of a mother would be sleeping in a ditch if it weren't for my spineless son. The sweet and pleasant things in life are for the noblest, not for likes of you. Did you forget your lot? His hand swings and hits Gloria on the cheek. She falls to the floor right next to where you are hidden. Her fingers glisten with the warm melted sugar that brought you here. Grandfather advances again, his walking stick ready, but he sees you huddling behind the armchair. Gloria, please don't hurt him, Sir Brante. This is all my fault. He tried to stop me. You can already see a bruise on Gloria's cheek. This is only the beginning of her punishment. Gloria was caught red-handed, unlike you. You can still avoid your punishment. Gregor Brant. What is it like then, milksop? Did you try the sugar too, or were you trying to stop this piece of filth like she says? Mock. You start mocking grandfather, convinced that Gloria will join you. Do I want to die again? You did eat the candied fruit with your sister. I feel like mocking him is not the play. But I want to save some willpower for later, so we're going to mock him because I'm rebellious as hell and I feel like it's about time to stand up to this dick. So we'll stand up to grandfather and mock him. You jump and try to shield Gloria, then you start boasting right in his face. Yes, you did eat the sugariest treat, and it was very much the opposite of sweet. Good thing Gloria did not have time to eat hers, or it would have been a disappointed her too. Gloria catches on in a moment. Gloria, yeah, sugary treats are for fat and noble kids. They're gross to us. We're just commoners. You continue her train of thought. Why we simply got curious after Stefan started boasting about it. He told us these treats are so good you could eat them forever. But no, your elder brother lied. They're simply unbearable. But then again, what else would you expect from grandfather's darling Stefan? Grandfather's face is red with rage. He strikes you both with his walking stick, blow for blow. Gregor Brandt, you dare mock me? I will not let this stand. Know your place, you lowborn foul scum. Keeps hitting you until he grows tired, and then he leaves you where you are, muttering in impotent rage. Soon enough, Mother comes in to find the two of you on the floor, too afraid to move. She shakes her head in disappointment. You are badly hurt and covered in bruises, yet she still forces you to kneel and recite the precepts on the lots and how important it is to follow them. I ain't following these lots, dude. I don't like this. Gloria's face is bruised and swollen, but she still gives you a weak smile. Gloria, we got him so riled up. Two commoners made an honorable and noble feel helpless. Makes all the pain worth it. Isn't that right, brother? Your entire body hurts from the heavy blows, but deep inside you are ecstatic. You stood up to grandfather today. It is a victory you'll remember for the rest of your life. +3 sympathy with Gloria. And Gregor hates me. +1 determination. Nice. Father's sword. The event is a consequence of your previous actions. Conditions met. Okay. When father is not working long hours, you often see him spending long stretches of time in the backyard practicing his fencing. You're allowed to watch, but that is it. You are forbidden from touching the sword, let alone actually learning how to fight with it. It is a new day today, and father has been busy in his studies since early morning. Mother took Gloria and Nathan to the shops. Your studies are done for today. The house is empty. You spot father's sword hanging by the yard door. He must have left it there by accident after a training session. You deliberate at first, and then grab the sword with resolve and run outside. At last, you have a chance to see it up close. It is a small sword used for dueling, heavy and devoid of any ornamentation. You recall that it was made specifically for him. The weapon is difficult to handle. Its heft makes the palm of your hand shake. As you get used to it, you try your best to imitate father's feints. Your technique leaves much to be desired, but at least it's something. You imagine yourself fighting for the family's honor as the thin blade slices through the air. But you swing too far back. The blade nicks your shoulder and cuts you through your shirt, staining the fabric crimson. The sword falls to the ground with a dull clang. You try to apply pressure to the wound to make it stop bleeding, but all you do is make the blood flow faster. Robert Brant, Davvon, what are you doing here? Familiar voice hurts you more than the cut of the sword. Father walks up to you briskly. His rugged arms rips off a length of cloth and bandages your shoulder. He squats by your side and pulls you in an awkward embrace. Robert Brant, my son, why did you take the sword? You know you're not supposed to hold it. This is no toy. It is a weapon that can take lives. I know how you feel. I used to yearn for my father's dueling sword back when I was a lad. One day you might have a chance to earn the right to carry a weapon, but first, you must have patience and study and become a noble. When that day comes, I will be proud to teach you myself. You rarely spend time with father without someone else around. There is paternal love in his voice, so much that even the cut on his shoulder barely hurts now. You'd be glad to be convinced by what he says. But how can you forget your dream? How can you abandon just to earn father's approval? Is it right for him to ask so much of you? Agree with father. Ask father to teach you the basics. We're going to ask father. I want to know. Father's inquisitive look presses you for an answer. It takes you a long time to muster enough courage to speak. You beg him to teach you how to fight, at least the very basics. It will certainly come in handy in your future. It will be your first steps towards becoming a nobleman. Now it takes father a long time to respond. He is about to speak, and you expect a refusal, but he says nothing. He draws a sharp breath again, but remains quiet. And then finally, he offers you the sword. Robert Brant. But remember this, Davvon. You are not a warrior. Not yet. You will study this like you study your lessons. He teaches you the first lesson right away. You learn to dodge attacks. There are several times when the tip of the blade cuts the air dangerously close to your nose. It is scary and difficult, but you manage it. From that day forth, father teaches you the foundations of sword fighting in great secret. You use your passion for tree climbing to explain the cuts you received during training. Soon you learn how to hold your own in a duel. Will you ever need this art in real life? I would assume I will. They gotta save that out of the willpower. I wouldn't be able to do that without it. We are resolute. Fencing lesson event has happened. You dare to study fencing like your father, even though you have no right to it by birth. Nice, we know how to swing a sword. A little better. Without cutting ourselves, hopefully. The sacrament. Father and mother have been focused on Nathan and you since early morning. Instead of breakfast, you were told to say your prayers, wash your hands and faces, and get dressed in plain white shirts. Today is the day of your sacrament. Nathan Brant. Mother, I want to play in the yard. Lydia Brant. No playing today. You and Davvon are big boys now. It is time for you both to have your first sacrament. No one can live without a lot. Nathan Brant. I don't want a lot. Robert Brant. Be quiet and listen. You were born commoners, so you must accept a low-born lot before the twins. When you grow up, you'll get a chance to earn a noble lot. Father and mother take you to the carriage. Nathan is hungry. He starts whining. Grandfather is the last to get in the carriage. His eyes are on you and your brother, looking for every fault. Soon the carriage is moving along the streets of Andazot, slowly and solemnly. One more turn and you see the colossal white building marked by two massive pillars. For the first time in your life, you are to enter the Church of the Twin Gods. You enter the gate and walk under the splendorous dome of the church. The church hall is divided into two halves. They are drastically different from one another. The floor on one side is rough, jagged, and covered in dried brown spots, while the floor on the other is made of smooth marble. Commoners kneel on the jagged floor, and the well-dressed nobles on their families sit on the pews. Father and grandfather leave you to sit on one of the nobles' pews. Mother walks to the rough stone of the commoner's side and gets down on her knees. You see her wince in pain, for the lowborn estate shall suffer in the house of faith. The church acolytes surround you and lead you to the altar where you and other children will take your sacrament this day. Before you stands a tall priest dressed in black with a sword in one hand and a hefty whip in the other. Nathan's whining grows louder. He dislikes this place. He is scared. You remain quiet, but your stomach roils in uneasy anticipation. The first child to take the sacrament is a jaunty little boy from a family of nobles. The priest extends the sword before him and recites the words of his lot. From this day forth he will fight and rule and pursue the arts, his mind now forever free from the throes of suffering, for he now belongs to the noble lot. The boy proudly touches the flat of the blade with his lips. Nathan is next to receive the sacrament. He suddenly snaps out of his fearful trance and tries to break free, but the acolyte pulls him towards the altar and throws him on the jagged floor on the lowborn side. The sharp edges bite into Nathan's knees as he lands, spraying drops of blood around him. Nathan Brant. I don't wanna. Davvon, why do they want to whip me? What did I do? You try to break free and run to Nathan's side. You want to give him courage and protect him, but the acolyte's grip on you is too firm. You feel utterly helpless. Your little brother has to face the world all by himself. The priest starts reciting the words of the lot as he swings the lash over Nathan's shoulders. From this day forth, Nathan, thou shalt endure and work and suffer. Thou shalt be ardent in thy labor and humble in obedience to thy rulers. And now cometh thy first true suffering, which thou must accept with gratitude. The lash cracks. It strikes his right shoulder. It strikes his left shoulder. The blows are so powerful that Nathan falls to the floor. The priest tells him to rise. He has received his lot. Nathan gets on his feet and drags himself towards his mother, his knees torn and bloody, his spirit broken. It is your turn. Your feet will not move. You can barely muster enough strength to walk to the altar. You get down on your knees and feel the sharp stones below. So sharp your clothing cannot protect you. Your skin begins to burn. The acolyte forces your head down and you feel the lash being drawn above you, ready to strike. Priest's words are for you now. This is thy sacrament. Thou shalt work, endure, and suffer. Thou art about to receive thy first true suffering by the sacred lash. Dost thou accept that by thy lot? Oh. I'm going to raise my head defiantly and stand up. I'm going to be defiant, rebellious. Priest raises his lash, but before he can strike you, raise your head and stand up. There are cries of indignation among the churchgoers. The whip cracks and strikes you on the right shoulder, but you keep your head up. It strikes again, this time on your left shoulder, but you remain standing. No one intervenes. Even the priest is confused by this turn of events. He grits his teeth as he orders you to depart. You are to remain humble and obedient from this day forth, for you now belong to the common estate. You walk away from the altar swaying. You see things with surprising clarity now. You can barely feel the pain, even as blood runs down your back. A timid hand touches yours. It is Nathan, his tearful face a mixture of confusion and awe. Mother takes your hand and leads you out to the church. Once you're outside, she scolds you for being insubordinate. Grandfather is the last to leave his church. His face is covered in red, angry blotches. There is a quiet fury in his voice as he says something to father, who remains quiet and miserable as you walk towards the carriage. Maybe if I piss him off enough, grandfather will have a heart attack. You defied a powerful will that day. There's a fear inside of you. You fear that this will might one day destroy you. Willpower, minus +5, easy. Ready for action. The sacrament, year 1125. You had taken your first sacrament and received the commoner's lot. Childhood's end, year 1125. The mark left on you by the sacrament takes a long, long time to heal. Mother says it a reminder of your lot, suffering and sufferance, pain and patience. Gloria shows you the mark of the lash on your shoulder one day, on her shoulder one day. It will never disappear. You're a commoner now. This is a lot you were born into, but Father keeps telling you to study hard so you may yet earn a different lot and become a noble of the mantle. You recall the past with warm sadness, when Stefan still lived with you, or when he wrote to you for a short time shortly after he left. Now he thinks it beneath him to write the commoners in his family. Mother didn't lock herself in the bedroom as often back then. This changed shortly before Nathan was born. But most importantly, you missed the time before the terrifying figure of your grandfather was constantly looming over you. You learned the true power of the lot only after the head of the family's arrival. In grandfather's eyes, no commoner deserves to be treated with kindness. Is this just him? Or is it the way of the entire world? The very thought makes you queasy. You are older now, and that's more, you are an older brother now. You have learned how to care about someone else, how to teach and protect. Soon you are a small boy no longer. As the days pass, play gradually gives way to laborious studies. Now your choices will decide your place in the bizarre and ruthless world of adulthood. Your childhood years are over. End of chapter 1, childhood. Soon you are a small boy no longer. Your childhood years are over. Important life chapters that have happened to you in this chapter. Childhood qualities that you have accumulated childhood, like current and adult qualities at the end of chapter 2, adolescence. My determination is 5. My perception is 1. I'm inattentive. I'm resolute. I'm ready for action, and I've died once. And we're actually going to go ahead and end it right there. My throat is parched. I have to use the restroom. I'm genuinely curious to see how much this would change based on the actions I took. Is it possible for me to have gotten the noble's lot if I had chosen differently? Right now I have the commoner's lot. I'm defiant. I don't like the lots, dude. I want to be defiant. I want to rebel, and I don't like my grandfather. But so far, I'm incredibly intrigued by this. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it as well. Look for part 2 to come up sometime this weekend. As far as I'm aware, the chapters get longer, and I think I read somewhere it was like 10 to 15 hours of playtime. It's a long time for me to be reading, and I'm not used to it quite yet. Hopefully I'll get better with time, and I apologize for stumbling of any words in it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it though. Again, as always, I appreciate y'all for watching. I love y'all. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Want to get some music for this?
Nope.
How long did that go?
You said 30 seconds.
How long have I been going?
10.
You got the movie right?
I have no idea. I'm not even
Is it
watching.
30 long?
No comment.